All right, guys, give me just a few chairs because we're talking now about online food delivery. How many of you buy food online? I mean, not buy food, but like order food, like sushi, pizza, or something. Okay. Wow, quite a lot. I didn't think. But sorry for just a stupid question. This is the classic stupid Italian question. Do you order by phone or do you order online? Shout. Online. How many of you order by phone, like you call? All right, old-fashioned style. Because I would call, for instance. I called the Japanese food and it's like that. But the online food delivery industry is really huge at the moment. And we have here, I would say, the main three players that are really playing an interesting role at the moment for the online food delivery. Let me introduce you our guests. We'll have, again, a little presentation for each of them, then a chat. And just to remember you, if you have questions, just go to the TA Venture Lounge and you can speak directly with the speaker, with the guest. So it's very... it's a great chance, you know, to get a lot of information and maybe create a partnership for your business. All right. So the first speaker is the co-founder and managing director of Foodpanda, and we have here Ralf Wenzel. Please welcome Ralf on stage. Thank you. Ralf is coming. No worry. He's probably ordering food. You know that's. Before, you know, it's funny to see what's happening in the backstage, because in the backstage, you know, all the speakers, they keep running their business. Can you find me Ralf in the backstage? Thanks. All right. The three main players, I just start to introduce you the context, are Foodpanda, there is Delivery Club, which is more focused, more local, and also Delivery Hero. So those are the three main players. Please, Ralf. Oh, here it is. Hello, welcome on stage. Ralf Wenzel. All right, Ralf. Nice to meet you. Take a seat.
Thank you.
All right. Then we have the board member of Delivery Club, Maxim Medvedev. So welcome also Maxim on stage. Here we are, guys. I think, so if you sit on this chair, if we need translation, guys, can you get me another chair so they are comfortable with that, so you can sit, yeah, on that side, and it's fantastic. Chair is coming. Please take a seat in the meantime. All right, who will sit? Okay. And third speaker, we have Lukasz. Gadowski is the chairman of the board at Delivery Hero. So here is your chair. Is Lukasz arrived? All right, 5 minutes is coming, so we can start to listen to your pitches in this way. Then, Lukasz, when he's coming, we start to have a chat and a conversation. Who wants to start? Ralf, you want to start? Huh? Could be a good idea. Or Maxim? Yep. Yeah?
You start.
As you like, guys. Your home is your guest. All right, all right. No, Delivery Club. All right. Just a short 5-minute pitch, and in this way, then, after we can get for a chat.
Hello, everybody. I'm happy to speak to you today. So first of all, I'd like to introduce Levon Oganisyan, the founder of Delivery Club, the leading online food delivery marketplace in Moscow, and myself, Max Medvedev, founder and managing partner at Adventure, who is lucky to be part of one of the most successful stories in Russia. So I have a couple of slides just to show where we stand now, our plans, and some interesting facts about our clients. So Levon started the business in 2009 in September, and we joined them in 2011. And since then, we generated user base more than 600,000 users. It's not registrations like in Groupon services. It's real clients with real numbers, with real emails, etc. Nowadays, we generate approximately 7,000 to 8,000 orders per day, and the most interesting thing that approximately 30% of them are coming from mobile channels, such as iPad, iPhone, Android, etc. Our restaurant base is nearly 2,000, and in 2012 we go in regions. So this is how we were growing in terms of daily orders. Now it's, as I said, 8,000, and by the end of 2040 we plan to double it. This is the same stuff as monthly orders, and our ambition is to build a company with nearly 500,000 orders per month. This is our regional expansion, so now we operate in 20 cities, and in the nearest 2 weeks we plan to launch also Sochi. So we know many things about our clients. It's interesting that regarding, for example, burger segment, we know that almost only men prefer to order burgers. Concerning grocery stuff, because we also work with grocery shops, we see that it is driven more by women, only women. And talking about different behavior for our users, we see that in 2012 we see a double-digit growth of wok food and a slight decrease in stuff called pies or осетинские пироги по-русски. So I'm finished. Cool. We're here. We're ready to answer your question.
Sure, sure. It was just a short idea, so we are all on the same page and we know what is company about. Take a seat, and same Ralf, so we can get an overview of Foodpanda. All right.
Yeah, first of all, thanks a lot for being here.
Yeah,
thanks
sure.
a lot for the invitation. Great to have you next to us.
You know, it's really exciting, this food, because you guys know what the word order, you know, so that's very interesting, what they eat, what they want, so it's unbelievable. Please, Ralf.
So we are Foodpanda. We are like a global marketplace for food ordering in the same way as Delivery Club in the Russian market. So what we worry about, I think what we all worry about, is to be a marketplace, to connect restaurants and connect hungry users and bring both of them together as part of a global marketplace. And what we worry about is we're not good in cooking food. I'm not good in cooking food. We're also not good in delivering food. We're not cooking, we're not delivering, but we're generating the orders. So our business model, and that's what we, I think, all have in common, is we're generating orders, we're transferring orders, we're automating orders. So we're an order generation machine. That's what we are doing. And as such, we're helping those which are preparing the food and those which are also delivering the food to mitigate that and to increase and capitalize more on the business which they have. Foodpanda is globally, we're now in 29 markets. We are very, very strong in Asia. We are by far the market leader in the Asian countries. We're in India, Indonesia, Taiwan, Indonesia, a couple of other markets. We're in the CIS region with Russia, Ukraine, soon launching a couple of other countries. We're very strong in the Eastern European markets, like in Poland, Hungary, Czech Republic. As you can see, we're strong in Latin America, where we're covering most of the countries. And the interesting thing is, what we have seen all across all those markets, that the business model works. In every single country, you have hungry customers. In every single country, you have restaurants. In every single country, restaurants are delivering or exploring delivery as an additional way of increasing business activity. So we don't see any reason why this business model should not work in all of the countries which we're seeing there on the map. And we see a large opportunity for also many different players. At the end of the day, just in those markets where we are in, which are 29 markets by now, we see 3 billion people. All of those 3 billion people, they eat. They eat on a daily basis. And also out of those 3 billion people, which we are theoretically approaching, there are more and more people growing into the middle classes. There's a constant urbanization happening, and urbanization and growing middle classes, that's benefiting our business. And the biggest competitor for us is not like the other companies sitting here. The biggest competitor for all of us is still the offline vouchers, which you get into your letterboxes, the phone calls which people are doing, since the share of online food ordering is just below 1% of the total total food delivery business, and that's exactly the opportunity for all of us, and that's why we're here. Just some quick facts around the company. We're just a year old. Within just 12 months after incubation, we have now 550 people globally, headquartered in Berlin, Germany, 29 markets, and continuing to grow. Thanks so much. Over to you. You have your microphone.
Take a seat, and Lukasz is coming. Just traffic jam. You know, Kiev is really like Italy. You know, when you cross the road, the traffic is, you know, the light is red, you're going to pass and car, boom, you know, it's really jam, isn't it? It's true or not? You have to feel when you have to cross the road in Kiev. Huh? It's not like, the rule is not so strict. You have to feel, so very good. So jam is coming. But guys, I have a question for you immediately. Number one, I was curious about one thing. Maybe Ralf, you can take this one. You say, okay, the business is the same all over the world. People want to eat, there are restaurants, and they will deliver food. So very simple. But on the other side, maybe, you know, in Ukraine, people like more some kind of food, or maybe in Asia another food, and Brazil another one. So your strategy is probably changing, and you try to find the restaurant with the kind of food that market want, or you say no, Japanese, Italian, whatever. How do you handle this?
I mean, overall, what we're all trying to do is to cover as many cuisines and as many restaurants as possible. So one of the key success factors is definitely choice, and to provide as many restaurants as possible, since one day you fancy sushi, the other day you fancy pizza. But still, and that's a surprising thing to us, there are certain things which always work. Students all over the world, they eat pizza. And burgers sell all over the world. So why is McDonald's and Burger King and like Pizza Hut and Domino's successful? Why are they in 100+ countries? Since the habits or the habits are very, very similar. And of course, like in Senegal, the most ordered food on Foodpanda is ice cream. Whereby in Mexico it's the burger, whereby in Poland it's the pizza. But again, they're like similar trends. But what we're overall trying to do is to cover as many restaurants as possible. From the very small one around the corner to a McDonald's, which is like the big chain and which we know will be successful, since they're also successful in the offline business.
Right. Let me go to the Russian market. We were talking before in the backstage about the fact that the Russian market is very particular, not so easy to enter the Russian market. Can you explain us why? I mean, what is different with other countries? Why it's so difficult to enter the Russian market?
So the most difficult thing, so just a little bit of facts. So when we started in 2009, the first big player, global player, Maxim, entered Russian market, and they launched service called izrestorana.ru. Their biggest problem was that all the operations were controlled from the Turkey. So, and in online business, it's crucial to make lots of changes very rapidly, changing interfaces, doing lots of A/B testing. You need that the team should be based in Moscow. It's the first factor of the FL.
Right.
The second factor that I agree absolutely that people need as much as possible in terms of assortment, but in Russia people prefer to buy from brands. So, and we divide all of our restaurants in 3 categories, A, B, C. And we try to attract as much as possible from A category. And the rest of players, on the contrary, work with many B and C categories.
Okay.
And the third thing is that in Russia, still lots of people prefer to call, and you need to spend lots of money, efforts to build a very good quality service of call center. I mean, it's like 2-3 seconds, and
they
pick up the phone, know where my pizza is going, lots of notification systems, etc., etc.
Okay.
It's very crucial because it's impacts on retention rate.
I want to ask a question to you guys. If you, interesting and important, because this is a very important problem, I think, to solve for you. If you order some food, okay, however you order, by phone or online, from a platform that offer online delivery at your place. If something goes wrong, who do you complain with? Do you complain with the restaurant or do you complain with the platform? What do you think? Platform, huh? Yeah, platform. I think so. So I think this is a problem to solve for you. But you are not the delivery is done by the restaurant, right? It's not. You have nothing to do with that. So how do you handle this customer expectation? That I think is important. Ralf, what do you think?
I mean, at the end of the day, you convert into becoming like a trip advisor for restaurants. A trip advisor which gives recommendations and which allows people to order also directly. So what we put a special emphasis on and a special focus on is to let customers review and rate their experience. It's about expectation management. It's about customers choose the restaurants by other recommendations. And the other recommendations then tell you whether delivery works fine, whether the food quality is great or not.
Okay.
And the more you go into like this viral opportunity of seeking recommendations, of asking users for feedback, of having user engagement on the platform, the better you can manage those expectations. Difficult at the beginning, of course, where you don't have a user base which is interacting with you. That's why you, from the first moment, need to encourage recommendations, ratings in the same way as TripAdvisor. If you find a hotel on TripAdvisor which has just a 1-star rating, you wouldn't go there.
Right.
Because they don't fulfill on the promise which you are giving. And that's the same for the food ordering business.
All right. So you try to position yourself on that side, like reviews and certify the restaurant, but then the delivery is made by the restaurant.
Yeah, on the other hand side, we are working with the restaurants, and that's also our recommendation to whoever works in that space or wants to start a business in that space, right, is that you need to, and you have some experience there as well, you need to work with the restaurants. You need to understand the restaurant's mentality. The restaurants is like a very, very old economy. It's an economy which exists in centuries. First of all, it's a new opportunity for them to start doing something around delivery. For many restaurants, doing delivery is something new. You need to educate them, you need to work with them, you need to have a very, very strong relationship with them. And then it's, of course, also the online component.
Maxim, how do you handle this problem?
So our statistics says that approximately 75 to 80% of complaints are coming from that delivery is too late. So what we do, we're trying to measure, in particular, our district, the traffics, and then we, when you order in Delivery Club, our operator or website will tell you that it will be in the range between 1 hour and 1 hour and a half. So we manage your expectation, first one. Second, if really something wrong happened with food, I don't know, we always have a direct line with top management in delivery services, and your complaint will go straight to this person, and he is in charge to either give you some present in the next time or answer your complaint. That's all.
Interesting. No.
For the past 2 years, I think we generate several thousand ratings. So this helps people to choose between restaurants.
Okay. Well, another question I'm curious about. How do you choose the restaurants? I mean, have you people doing a physical selection of the restaurants? Are you selecting them through an online process? Or someone is going there like, what was that, the touring club, you know, the Michelin guide with the people going in the restaurant and giving the, you know, the votes or something like that? How do you select your partners?
I mean, we are first of all segmenting every single city into areas, into sub-areas. So first of all, it's very important to understand that the food delivery business is a city business. It doesn't happen on the countryside, it happens in cities. So we're segmenting the city into different sub-areas. In Moscow it could be by metro station, in other cities it's by postcode or by street names or by like ourselves drawing up certain polygons. And then we're looking into every single area and want to have coverage for every single cuisine.
Okay.
So what are the cuisines? Italian, fast food, burger, Chinese food, whatever is out there. And we first of all, in order to start doing then also marketing and operations in a specific area, we try to have coverage for every single cuisine with at least like 3, 4, 5 restaurants per cuisine in order to then switch on the marketing. And then while you start with the first marketing initiatives, you see what's the search demand for certain cuisines and can then increase in a specific cuisine and add a number of other restaurants there.
Right. How does it work for you? I mean, you're also very specific. What kind of selection you do?
I think it's the same stuff because as you, we also want that our client has as much as possible assortment to choose, whether it is sushi or pizza or Mexican, whatever. But we also look on online statistics on WordStat, for example, on how often people ask this particular restaurant, because it's very important because we work with the clients already online, because search engine is like 30 or maybe half of all revenue streams.
You know, when I watched your presentations, one thing that really made me think, I don't know, guys, if it's for you the same, but I thought, how the hell these companies, they scaled so much worldwide or in Russia, in so many places, so fast. So I was wondering if you have some tips for us on how can you really expand so fast? Ralf, I mean, so many countries, so many languages. What's the secret behind that expansion?
Well, I think one secret behind the expansion is that you need to find a great team, and we are trying to mix it. We're headquartered in Berlin, in Germany, where we are running the product, where we are having our IT team, where we are doing like the global business intelligence, looking into the numbers. And on the other hand side, we are still building on local expertise. So in every single market, we also have a local team, and we find a local entrepreneur to run the business. And I think it's crucial for us to find very, very good people. And if you have a great entrepreneur, then you can also scale. And what we then encourage, and that allows us to scale even faster going forward, is that we accumulate a lot of knowledge, a lot of experience and expertise from different markets at the same time. So mistakes which we have done in one country, we don't need to repeat in another country. And even though countries are sometimes very different, some countries are more expensive in terms of marketing than others. Right. And sometimes a campaign works better in Russia than it does in Poland. But overall, there are more similarities than differences. And that's why we have like a weekly knowledge call with all 29 countries where they share their experience, and where people from Poland tell the people from the Czech Republic how to build a business, since they have gone through that already.
But you keep like in Berlin, right?
Yes.
You keep like, you centralize some business activities in a way that if you come in Ukraine, for instance, you find the country manager in Ukraine, the team in Ukraine, but you support them with all the background and the infrastructure from Berlin, sort of?
With a global product and a global platform, and internet businesses are data businesses, are KPI businesses.
Right.
And the whole KPI management and the whole KPI evaluation is also coming out of Berlin, so that we can also give very, very concrete guidance, analysis to the local teams, which allows them to compare them against other countries, to see what works well, what doesn't work well, and where to improve.
Right. Maxim, how did it work for you to expand in your market?
A year ago, we also were thinking about some global stories, because we thought that we're already too big for Russian market and there is no more space to grow, so we have to go maybe in Ukraine, etc. So we start traveling and talking to different global players in Europe, in US, in Asia, and what we understood that we are very small. We have plenty of market space in Russia, and we understood that we should focus. We should focus on Russian market and build monopoly. And
excuse me, Maxim, tell me again, how big is the Russian market for online food delivery? What's the size?
So Moscow is approximately 50 to 60,000 orders per day.
Okay.
50 to 60,000 orders per day. Total Russia, I think approximately nearly 100,000 orders per day.
It's a huge market, huh?
Our estimation for Ukraine, for example, is less than 10,000. So
Okay.
it's really huge. It's really huge because there are many players in Europe, in UK. For example, Maxim is already generating 60,000 orders per day.
Perfect.
So we want to repeat the same story for Russian.
Excellent. Guys, is arrived also Lukasz Gadowski. Can I get a welcome for Lukasz? Lukasz, welcome on stage. Here we are. We started, but we were waiting for you. We are excited to have you here. Please take a seat. So, we basically, Lukasz, we finished. I'm joking, I'm joking. No, we're just in the middle of the conversation. But can you give us just, a short pitch that you already did it about Delivery Hero? So we heard Delivery Club, Foodpanda, and we missed just Delivery Hero, and then we keep going chatting.
So Delivery Hero we launched in Germany 3 years ago, and it's basically the same business model. We started first only in Germany, and there was already a large player there, so we've been a late follower. And kind of after a year being very successful in Germany, although there was already somebody, we realized that it's a global opportunity and expanded internationally. So we're today in around 15 countries,
Right.
including Asia, Latin America, in North America we're in Mexico, with number 1 in a few European countries, and yeah,
Good.
basically continue to grow. And to give you a flavor of the order of magnitude, so we invested around 100 million euro in the last 3 years in this business, and this both in growing organically, but also like in a roll-up strategy doing M&A.
Yeah. Under 34 million, something like that was the round, was a huge round.
Yeah, there've been a couple of rounds. Yeah, so it's like around 800 people, and again 15 countries.
Right.
Very active.
I just want to recap also with you one topic that I think was important. We were talking before about how online food delivery companies can handle the problem that you have a customer ordering from your website, but then the delivery is done by the restaurant. So when something goes wrong, they complain with the website, not with the restaurant. So how do you handle this in your organization?
So I'd say this is the whole industry is still relatively early. Yeah, so I think there's a long way to go. This is a problem where we also don't have a solution yet for.
Okay.
Yeah, so you try to incorporate into your communication. So, for example, when you have a TV ad strategy, you can convey it in various ways, but there's no easy or a silver bullet solution to it. So you communicate it over and over again, and some people know it, some people don't.
So it's just a matter of communicate better with the customer and let him know how are the rules. Ralf, you were talking before about the fact that still the online delivery business is a small, less than 1%, you said, of the global.
At least for.
Of the global business.
Hello?
All right, try. No, all right, try.
At least for our markets. So I mean, we have a special focus on emerging markets, and in those emerging markets, the share of online orders, like in Indonesia, India, other markets, it's still less than 1% of the total orders.
Okay, so what is your recipe to fill the gap? How can that small piece of the pie can really grow? And how much will grow, what do you think, in the next 5 years?
I mean, we have seen different situations. If we look into countries like India or Pakistan or Vietnam, or like if we take the Hungarian business, there are different factors which influence that. One factor which influences that is the smartphone penetration. And the usage of smartphones. We have seen that there are certain emerging markets, like in Africa, like in Nigeria or in Pakistan, where the predominant part of our orders is done through the mobile channel. And it's driven by the mobile phone penetration.
Right.
And people, they didn't have a mobile phone before. The first mobile phone they have is a smartphone. There's a very high engagement with smartphones. They're testing out all kinds of apps, so they're also testing out food apps. The other thing which is influencing that is the growing middle classes. If we look into a city like Jakarta, there's an exploding middle class. So what do you do if you're getting into the middle class? Yeah, you're trying to get internet access, you buy a smartphone, and you afford the first tiny bits of luxury and of convenience in life, life quality. And ordering food is like a convenience thing, it's a life quality thing. So we see that they're like macroeconomic factors, they're like technological factors, like smartphone penetration, which influence that. And then also like we are very strong in some African markets. If there are other internet businesses which also explain the story of ordering online makes sense for fashion, for electronic, for food, for taxi, for whatever it is, then it influences each other. So that's why also together with other rocket internet companies, we're trying to enter markets together, also with other portfolio companies out of the fashion scene, out of the electronic scene, to educate the market towards the offline, online shift.
It's a combination of factors, so basically. How did Delivery Hero scale so fast internationally? Of course, I mean, money helps, but then you were very good in doing something. So from an organization point of view and localizing for all the markets, what are your tips here for?
So I mentioned that we started 3 years ago, which is very short. But the real story is a bit more complicated because of some of our key people are involved in this market since 8 years. Yeah? And basically, when you do this for 8 years, and they started without any capital at all. Yeah? If you start without any capital at all, you're under high pressure to figure out all the tricks. Yeah? And they started in a time where the business model wasn't hyped. There was no competition with a lot of money often. Yeah? And they had all the time to figure out all these little small details. And we could basically benefit from that. And of course, it differs from market to market. Some of the markets that you're involved in are very different. We've been not that successful in Russia on our own for various reasons. But overall, we already had like this experience and then could add capital to it and then scale fast.
So basically, you created your knowledge before to get big investment, and then the investment was just to speed up the growing. That's cool, interesting. Let's talk about customer acquisition strategy. Because I love your model, guys, because I think in the end it's a super cool model because the moment that you have the partners, the restaurant will promote, you know, the online delivery, so they will do the job of promoting, isn't it? So it's quite cool. But how do you create your customer acquisition strategy? How can you keep growing in this market also because you start to be big and good, many players around? So, Maxim.
So really, it's a very good question. I think it's the most important question because our business is very tough. For example, in Russia, we have an average check like 45 to 50 bucks. Average commission, for example, 10%. And in order to be profitable, you need that all your costs, like customer acquisition cost, operational cost, etc., should be less than 4 to 5 bucks. And it's really very, very tough. So our marketing is profitable from the first order. So we're not playing in customer lifetime value. So we do the job about measuring cohorts, etc., etc., but we're not playing in this aggressive strategy of acquisition. I think we use the same channels as others, so it's search engine marketing, it's search engine optimization, it's we do pay lots of attention to mobile because as already showed, approximately 30% already coming from this channel, and I think in the nearest 2 years this channel will dominate, so it will generate more than the half. So, but it's top secret. So it's really tough. It's very sophisticated. It's mathematical stuff. It's lots of A/B tests, lots of context advertising. It's
okay, interesting. Ralf, about customer acquisition strategy, what's your angle?
Yeah, I agree with what Max just said. But in addition to that, you have the restaurants and you have the audience of the restaurants. So people go into those restaurants and people consume food, and restaurants do already provide delivery, most of them. And right now they're putting flyers into the letterboxes and they let you call them via telephone. So on the one hand side, you can do all kind of online marketing. On the other hand side, I think there's a great opportunity to use the reach of the customers, of the restaurants. The restaurants have a customer base, and working together with the restaurants on educating their customer base to also order online. That's an opportunity which you can leverage in many different markets, and there are many different ways to do that.
Yeah.
But that comes on top.
Yeah. Lukasz, I'm sticking on this customer acquisition strategy. Also to understand how do you acquire customers, so that's very interesting.
I mean, like, one is to acquire a customer, and besides performance marketing and working together with the restaurants, there's also like mass media that you can use, TV. So those are, depending on the market, those are all the things that we do. And the other trick is to retain the customer, so to keep the customer. And this is what really makes the model, the whole business model interesting and worthwhile. Yeah? In that sense, we're a little bit like Google, and this is why we also, a restaurant, once a market is developed, a restaurant cannot switch away. They have to use you, kind of. Yeah? Okay. It's a little bit like Google. You cannot negotiate with Google. You have to be with Google. And why? Because of Google has the consumer. The consumer always goes to Google. In Germany, for example, Google has 90% market share. Yeah? So they're basically the only one available. And we startups, us startups in the startup world, we don't like this. Yeah? We work very hard, put a lot of work into a new startup, and the first minute we go live, we make a lot of losses. And who makes money? Google. Yeah? Yeah. So once I tried to switch away from them, yeah, I said like, okay, as a person, I don't want to use Google. I will use a different search engine. I think I tried Bing and a couple of others. And the funny thing is, it's impossible.
Yeah. Yeah? Good luck with that, because
you cannot switch. They're in every toolbar. Then you're used to the interface, although it's so very simple. You're used to the interface. Then it's also an issue with trust.
Yeah, you go back.
And it's the same kind of like with the service that we offer. Once the customer is used to you, he knows, he trusts your restaurant listings, he has your payment data with you, he knows how your customer service works, and he will not switch away. So one thing is like how to get the customer, and the other is like to keep him happy. And when you have him, then he will stay. And this is what we see in our older businesses. They stay, the loyal customers, they stay for years. Yeah? You have customers that, just like I'm with Google since now, like, I don't know, 8 or 9 years. Yeah. We have customers who are with our platforms.
Stay along the time. We have 5 minutes left, but just I would like from each of you one tip, your best tip for all the startups among the audience. So from your journey till now, what's your best suggestion? What's your best tip that you would like to give, to share with us?
So I think in any business, less is more, as it said. I think you should focus and be the best, maybe not on the global scale, but on the local scale. Because when the global player will come, he will have to buy you. Because from our journey, we already see that many global players tried and were trying and are trying to enter Russian market, but none of them succeed. So focus.
Okay, focus. Less is more, as Steve Jobs always said. Yeah, go Ralf and then Lukasz to close.
Yeah, recommendation from our side. At the end of the day, we are supporting a channel switch from offline to online. People used to buy their fashion offline. Now they're doing it more and more online. Same for food. And you can just do that if you listen to the ones which are currently doing that in the offline world. So our recommendation is whatever you do, whether it's like fashion, whether it's electronic, whether it's restaurants, listen to the ones which you're working with. Listen to your suppliers, in our case, the restaurants. Try to understand their business, and especially in our emerging markets where we are concentrating on very strongly, they run an old school business. You need to educate them. You need to be very patient. You need to explain them what online means and what that means in terms of additional opportunities. So listen to your suppliers and listen to the ones which you want to get over to the online world.
Right. So if you find an industry that is still offline, it's not really digital, if you can bring them online, there is a big opportunity there. Definitely. Lukasz, your best tip?
So if I have to pick one hint, yeah, it's solve a problem. Create value in solving a problem, and then all other things will fall into place. And tomorrow there will be a presentation by me about how to get rich, and then you will get more details about it.
Okay.
So watch my presentation tomorrow. That's my biggest tip.
Guys, do you order food online? That's a stupid question, but just to know, because maybe they say no, we don't. Yeah, are you ordering food online? Of course. Okay. Okay. Good. Because you know, it's very fun because sometimes you find entrepreneurs that are absolutely out of that, you know, business. They just got a vision, and but they're not really inside. So I was just joking. Okay, last 2 minutes. Again, from you, what will happen in the next 5 years in the online food delivery? The classic trend question, but just to understand how you see the market going. I don't know, Russia will become the #1 market in the world, or India, whatever. So how do you see? What will happen? Ralf, we start from here and we close with Maxim.
I think the business will go mobile. So that's what we strongly believe in. Online food ordering is convenience, and convenience is best being mirrored using the mobile channel. So we'll see web ordering getting smaller and smaller, and people will sit in their car, sit in the metro, sit in the bus, and order via the mobile device. And we also think, apart from mobile, we might see other channels opening up.
Yeah.
We have interactive TVs, we have PlayStations. If people buy together with, play together with their friends in front of a PlayStation, why not having like an order now button? Or why not having as part of your interactive Samsung type of TV, like order your food online button. So I think it will be more channels, but overall a very, very strong shift towards mobile.
Interesting. Lukasz?
So like, I'm not sure if it's a trend, but like if I think about the next 5 years, I think we will see a few very large global or US companies that are very profitable, and this business model will be one of the better known business models in the internet, and very profitable companies that we will see.
Okay. Maxim?
First of all, I hope that Seamless and Grubhub go IPO. So it's very interesting. So 3 things concerning Russia. As you know, Russia already, in terms of internet population, is the biggest market. Okay. So I think in 5 years we really have good probability to become #1 in terms of orders, in terms of revenue in Europe. So second, I think mobile will dominate the market, and all players will invest in these channels. Third, I think you will see some big M&A stories, because there are some big players and they won't consolidate the market. After Grubhub and Seamless will go out there.
Perfect. Thank you very much to our guest, Foodpanda Delivery Club Delivery Hero. Thank you very much. Thank you.